The other day, I watched a Pekka card reading about who is jealous of you. And I found it incredibly strange, even distorted. That the pile I chose spoke of someone jealous of how I've changed. It said that this person envied my sudden growth and that the way that I've leveled up and how I carry myself now. Even the energy I embody. Apparently, they're trying to keep up with my appearance, my glow, even my relationships. And what struck me most was that this jealousy wasn't about wealth or luck, but about my hardships, about the struggles, trauma, and loneliness I had to face and overcome on my own. They were jealous of my bad childhood, yet envious of how I turned pain into purpose. Jealous of my endurance, my grit, the strength I built from surviving things that could have broken me. And honestly, that makes sense. Considering all I have endured from impersonators and people trying to siphon my essence, it is clear that this is the work of destiny thieves. That those ones that mirrored my experiences then flipped the story and played the victim while trying to be me in essence. Well, it is peculiar, isn't it? To be jealous of suffering. But maybe it is not the pain they envy. It is the glory that came from surviving it. The credit, the aura, the divine strength that suffering refined in me. They wanted the crown that came from my wounds. Not realizing that the path to it was one I'd never wish on anyone. Perhaps, since we're talking about the strength of spirit, will you be able to discuss what spirituality truly means? Let's have a quick discussion about spirituality. Many people imagine rituals, crystals, prayers, or a certain kind of aesthetic. But in truth, spirituality isn't something we do. It is something we are. It is the awareness of the invisible essence behind all visible things. It is not about escaping the human experience. It is about deeply inhabiting it with consciousness, compassion, and awe. Spirituality is the remembrance of who you really are. It is not a belief system, it is remembrance. It is the quiet recognition that beneath your body, your thoughts, your history, there's an eternal awareness witnessing it all. And that awareness is your soul that is connected to everything that exists. You do not have to reach for divinity, it is the fabric of your being. And that spirituality is simply turning back toward that inner light again and again until it becomes your natural way of seeing. Spirituality is about integration and not perfection. It is not about being pure, positive all the time, or above, or better. The messiness and toxicity of life. It is about integrating it. The anger, the grief, the desire, the jealousy, the fear. These are not signs of spiritual failure. They are doorways into deeper self-understanding. Spirituality is what allows you to hold both darkness and light within you without rejecting either. It is the alchemy of human experience, turning lead into gold, pain into wisdom, and shadow into awareness. Spirituality is the art of presence. And it is the strength of spirit, the inner flame that endures. When everything collapses and you have nothing left but your breath, spirituality is what remains. It is the resilience that rises from within, not because of external validation, but because the soul cannot be extinguished. This is the strength that others sometimes mistake or envy. The quiet power that comes from having been broken open and still choosing love. Spirituality is connection. It is realizing that our journey is part of a much larger dance. That the same consciousness animating you animates the stars, the trees, the people who hurt you, and the people who heal you. And in essence, spirituality is not an escape from reality. Not the illusion you create to become something you are not. But it is the deepest immersion into what is real. It is the courage to walk through life with open eyes, and a spirit that refuses to harden no matter what happens. Do you even know what you took? Now going back about the topic jealousy. You see, jealousy is not always about possessions or status. Often it is about the power of spirit. You see, jealousy arises from comparison and not content. And at its root, jealousy isn't about what you have. It is about how someone feels when they compare themselves to you. So if you have endured deep pain, betrayal, or hardship and came out stronger, wiser, softer, and more radiant, that evokes a deep mirror in others, that it reminds them of what they haven't faced or healed yet. They may not consciously think that, I wish I had their trauma, but they do wish they had your depth, your resilience, and the meaning you forged from pain. Your endurance exposes their avoidance. You see, many people run from discomfort or collapse under adversity. When they see someone who met suffering head on and turn it into wisdom or purpose, it reveals their own avoidance of growth. And that can trigger envy, not because they want your pain, but because they want your courage, and resent that it was earned in ways they fear. Your scars become a kind of sacred status symbol, not of vanity, but of victory, and that can unsettle those who've lived more comfortably but less authentically. Sometimes our story threatens false hierarchies. Society often equates success with money or appearance, but when you have suffered, lost everything, and still shine, you overturn that hierarchy. It's like our existence says that there is another kind of power, one that cannot be bought, stolen, or faked. You see people who depend on external validation feel that their illusion cracked in your presence, and that the jealousy that they feel is the discomfort of their ego confronting a deeper truth. You see pain alchemized becomes power. When you transmute your suffering into empathy, artistry, strength, or peace, you generate a magnetic energy. And that energy is the energy of authenticity. People subconsciously feel this and that may both admire and resent it. They see that your pain purified you rather than destroyed you. And that shit hurts. Especially for my enemies. Every soul is on its own timeline. When someone is jealous of our hardships, what they're truly reacting to is our evolutionary growth. The soul strength that comes from initiation through suffering. We carry a spiritual weight, a presence, a depth that cannot be imitated. And this evokes a strange kind of envy, an unconscious longing to be as whole as we became through breaking. So if there's a tarot reader out there creating content about someone being humbled, claiming that this villain look at another person's profile out of jealousy, labeling this person as an enemy in their fabricated story, and that this villain found out that the person that they envy is doing better than expected, then that right there is a perfect example of what spirituality is not. Spirituality is not escaping reality through false narratives. It is not about constructing illusions or lies to appear as the poor victim, the better person. That's not enlightenment. It's just purely deception. Simple. True spirituality is the deepest immersion into what is real. It is the willingness to face truth even when it shatters your own story. And whether you believe it or not, this is not the reality of things. And I am not your villain. If I was your villain, seeing the contrast of the narrative of the star reader and from those pick a card messages, perhaps The story of this tarot reader is a mirror of what is truly happening to me. A mirror of a jealous thief